What up, YouTube? It's me, Isaac, coming to you with another edition of my life. So, when I first started my YouTube channel, my first YouTube channel when I was 16, because of some stuff that I've already talked about on this channel, I had a goal of getting to 200 subscribers or more, and then I designed my own play button as a not an actual play button, but like one I made myself as a reminder of the milestone I hit. And now that was like I started my channel on my 16th birthday because of something that happened uh less than a month earlier, but that's neither here nor there. So I've had that goal since then, and I've surpassed that goal already. And by surpassed it, I mean I'm 24 subscribers away from 300, and I just hope that my um I just hope that my I just wanted to thank you guys for being part of my YouTube journey, those that are and those that potentially could be, because as I said in one of my my recent YouTube videos, my analytics showed that 81.1% of my views are from non-subscribers, which is awesome, and at the same time a little odd to me that so many of some that big of a percentage would be there, and my sub count be this big. And I never thought I'd get 100 subscribers, if I'm being honest. But if I add up the 6 channels I've had, and by that I mean my first one, back in the day, I always thought my YouTube channels were attached to my phone. I didn't realize they were attached to my my Gmail account until like when I started this one is when I realized that. And if YouTube would add up subscribers from all of my channels and views from all of my channels, let's just say I'd be closer to that 1,000. I'd be closer to the actual YouTube play button and wouldn't have to design my own, although I still would have designed my own, which hopefully I can get that done later today or sometime within the next week, because I've had this idea of how I've wanted it to design it myself. And like I said, it's not an actual YouTube play button. It's just a little tick on my way to getting my actual play button at 1,000 subscribers, which God knows I'm wanting that for years. And by that I mean, when I started my channel, it was just a way to escape reality, and I don't want to get into what I was trying to run from. My family knows, and my friends know. Some of my friends know, and let's just say after that, I did something. I went to school one day. So I found out about what happened on a Friday, and I went to school on a Monday, and I didn't believe my buddy and buddy brother and all but blood. That's really how I think of him, and I have thought of him like that since we were kids. And by that I mean we had physical therapy together and we didn't know each other. We didn't realize we had physical therapy together until we met at summer camp, which that particular person knows who he is and he knows how important he is to me. And yeah, so look forward to I look forward to designing my I don't know how I'm going to draw it because I'm not that good at well, unless I have my twist and write pens and pencils and colored pencils cuz I'm pretty good at drawing, but well, I am and I'm not. It depends on which hand I'm using to draw because I can barely draw with my right hand. As you can tell, I got arthritis in it, which that's due to the disability, which y'all have seen the wheelchair. But but yeah. So like I said, when I was 16, I didn't really put that much thought into my videos. It was just a way to, like I said, escape reality because I didn't want to believe what I had read after my buddy told me. And let's just say after I read that, before I read that, I walked into my teacher of records classroom because I kept my wheelchair tray there. Don't remember why I did it, but I did. And I told her straight up that I told her what my buddy said and that I would not be doing any of my work in her class until I find out if my buddy was messing with me or not because he wouldn't joke around like that, but but I was in such shock when he told me that I I really thought he was just messing with me, even though I know he wouldn't do that. But I straight up told my teacher, if this is true, you will not stop me. I am walking out of this class. I am walking out of keyboarding class. I will not repeat what I said exactly because, well, I don't want my video taken down. But let's just say I was fueled by emotions, and by that I mean mostly sadness, despair, uh, denial, so on and so forth, because I still didn't believe my buddy, because who the heck would want to believe that? And plus we were teens and teens play weird jokes on each other, so I thought he was. When I walked into keyboarding class 6 hours after picking up my tray because I had keyboarding 6th hour, I again told my teacher I am not opening my typing book until I find out if what my buddy said was real. And it turned out it was real. I ran out of class like I said I would. My aide and my teacher followed me, and then it was an emotional fueled. I just couldn't believe what I had read, and that was really horrible. Back on November 9th of 2006. God, that just aged me. But then again, I said how old I was already. But yeah, it was my emotions had taken over because I really didn't want to process what I had read at the time. And let's just say, as I ran down the ramp, because obviously wheelchair, I can't run down the stairs. That'd be stupid. I hear my teacher and I hear the classroom teacher, the the teacher's aide, and my personal assistant at the time all saying I need to get back to class. And inside I was thinking, I am not doing what they are telling me to do because I will not be able to concentrate. And honestly, who would be able to concentrate when they find out well, I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to cry on camera again. But then let's just say the news that I got was one of, like I said, sadness, despair, denial, and so many more emotions that and I don't normally, I would have normally listened to all three, well, two of them, because one of them I honestly did not like whatsoever. I will not say which one it was, but y'all can take a guess on which one of the three, the teacher's aide, the teacher, and my personal aide, which one do you think I didn't like? And and so there was that, and as I'm splashing water on my face, thank God it was the boys' room because I really didn't want to see any of the three of them. I didn't want to see anybody. I wanted to be left alone with my thoughts. And when I heard all three of them say, stop splashing water on your face and get back to class, I, let's just say, I let my emotions out and I did not follow what they said. So where I went to school, Warren Central, it was a 2-floor school plus a part of the school that I was never in, which was the Walker Career Center. And I do kind of wish I had taken at least one class there because everybody who took a class on that side of the school said it was interesting. But but yeah, there was this ramp that led through the middle of the school to the second floor, and I they all three told me to come out, and I was in my head, I was like, no, because I couldn't voice what I wanted to voice, and I will not say what I said to all three of them. But let's just say it was emotional. It was emotion fueled, and at the time I didn't feel bad for saying it, but now all these years later, I feel bad for saying it to two of them, but one of them, like I said, I didn't like. You can you can guess which one I didn't like. And then then a couple years later, when I was getting ready to graduate, I had this friend who I considered a little sister who didn't want to see me graduate. I didn't really, well, I did want to get out of there because I just didn't like the memories of that one year back in '06, and those memories haunted me, and some of them still haunt me to this day, which they aren't as frequent of thoughts as they were back in '06, but they're not they're not rare enough that they don't get to me, but at least I can control my emotions about it now. And let's just say I doubt the I doubt the three I doubt the two people who I'm talking about will see this video, but if they do, they know who they are, and I know it's some I know it's eight I know it's 19 years too late. Well, almost 19 years too late, but I'm sorry. And like I said, I like I said earlier, it was emotional. It was emotion filled. I was. I couldn't. 16-year-olds can't really process that because our brains aren't developed. We all know that. But I really shouldn't have said what I said. And like I said, I will not repeat it because it was not exactly nice. But when they told me to come, I will say this. When they told me to come out, oh, I came out after splashing water on my face, but the only one that was there was my aide, the teacher and the teacher's aide actually had to go back to class. They were just there to check on me, and my aide was there to tell me she's sorry for what she read and what I was going through, but I didn't want to hear it at all. I just needed time to be alone. And that was I found that out, I found it out like a minute into class, and I was in the bathroom splashing water on my face for about 20 minutes before I heard them say that, because they all wanted to look at the computer screen. I'm pretty freaking sure of that. And so that's why it took them all so long to come find me. Honestly, I wish I would have gone with my second plan, which was to run down to my locker and grab a couple of bucks to grab me a drink, because we had soda machines at the school and I really needed something to get my mind off that. And I know the sugar would have calmed me down, and it did. And but I ended up doing that before before seventh period instead of during sixth. I wish it was during sixth period, and I didn't spend that much time splashing water on my face. Thinking back, I I could have ran to the I could have ran to my locker that was literally just down the ramp and around the corner, and got my money and bought me a drink or two, cuz this particular machine would pay out 2 for 1. I don't I believe even some of the teachers knew about that. But but on top of the fact that I had already gotten me one at the beginning of the day, which was probably stupid because I literally had health class first period, and I would walk into health class with a bottle of whatever I bought, which was usually live wires, and I'd pocket one of them, and I'd wake myself up using the first one and pocket the other one for lunch. And then if I needed more, I'd just go buy more. And that particular day, I really had to. I couldn't wait for lunch to. I couldn't wait for lunch for the second one. I had to calm myself down with that second one. And the first one, like I said, was to wake me up and we all need to pick me up back then at the at like 7 or 8 in the morning. I can't remember when. Actually, what school started at 7:45. I was at the soda machines every morning around 7:30, and I down one right there as it would come out, and I just pitch the bottle out and hold on to my second one. But that day I literally had to buy two because, um, like I said, I couldn't process what my emotions were going through, and I had already drank two of them. So technically, I had bought four, but it was just four for the price of two, which I doubt that soda machine's even still in the school. Which, if it is, that's awesome as hell. And I do feel bad for what I had said to my aide and the teacher, and let's just say there's multiple reasons why I didn't like the teacher's aide, and that was one of them. And the other was what happened when I was just about to graduate, and I was uh, and the girl I considered my little sister and still consider my little sister was she was bawling too, and the teacher's aide took us both uh, aside and said, "Let this I will repeat because it wasn't as bad as what I had said to them back in '06, like almost 4 years to the day of that. Well, 4.5 years to the day of that. The teacher said to both of us, you two, well, not the teacher's aide, rather, but she still had authority over us, which I really didn't give a flying crap what she thought. Never did, never will. She was, I won't say she was a bad teacher because I honestly don't know her teaching methods. I just know her methods for dealing with upset students, and they weren't the best at all. My aide knew I wore my emotions on my sleeve. My teacher knew I wore my emotions on my sleeve, and I'm pretty dang sure the teacher's aide knew I wore my emotions on my sleeve. She just didn't give a flying crap. Which, honestly, if you're in that position to tell an emotional 12th grader and and basically their best friend not to be emotional, you shouldn't be a teacher or in that capacity as that person was. That's just my opinion, and I still don't like that. I still don't like the teacher's aide. I have, I do still respect my teacher and my personal aide, and I do feel bad for what I said, like I said earlier, and things were just not the best for me that time, and it had been eating away at me. I mean, not as bad as it did back then, but that year was not very good for me after that. I mean, I didn't expect my buddy was lying to me because, like I said, he's my brother in all but blood. always has been, always will be. And I was just in shock because it was, let's just say, what happened on this my friend's birthday, the one who isn't here anymore, which sucks that they do that on their birthday. And that is probably what hurts the most. Well, besides the loss of a good friend and father figure in my eyes, most of the campers saw him as a father figure. I know I sure as hell did, and I still do, even though he's been gone for so long. It feels like just yesterday. Um, so every year we had it was a 2 week camp. Well, actually 12 days, but you round up when you're having fun with your buddies and meeting new people. That was always cool. And so every year we'd have this thing called Challenge Day. And I remember when I was 8, my first, there was this hill that they'd always block off, which was basically just like, I don't know, I'm not good at measurements, but I think it was like 1,000 feet road, maybe a little less. But I actually rode my bike up it, and then the next year I didn't have knee pads, and I didn't have my bike because, well, actually I don't remember why I didn't have my bike, but I decided to crawl up it, and the some of the counselors were down there helping the people who were wanted to climb that hill. And my buddy and my brother in all but blood was the first to notice that I needed to hand up, and then the counselors noticed too, or at least he was my buddy was just the fastest to get to my chair because we got there. He got there like a minute or a minute or like a minute to 5 minutes before I did, if memory serves, and I'm pretty sure it does. And he was the one that pointed out that I was ready to get back in my chair because I had crawled all the way up it. And it honestly wouldn't surprise me if there was still a little bit of my, well, you know what happens when you crawl up a road and all you have underneath you is towels, because that's just what we had, and I wanted to make it as hard on myself as possible. And I'm sure you can guess where I'm diverting things because I don't want to say it. And so my buddy was the one to tell our counselors that I was ready to be helped back into my chair. And I felt a sense of accomplishment after riding up it on my bike the year prior and then crawling up it with just like towels and stuff. And with how many times I crawled up Cardiac Hill, it over the like 10 years I was there, because I had missed 2 summers for some arbitrary dumb butt reason. I can't remember why, but I remember I missed 2 summers, and that really sucked because I always looked forward to camp. And happened was, with how many times I'd crawl up it with varying things from knee pads to towels to those little foam mats that you put outside pools, like the puzzle piece things, to just my sheer force of will and nothing underneath me. That one was a really dumb mistake. I remember that year. It was I actually had to I actually had to take a picture on my knees that year because, well, let's just say, with nothing but sheer force of will and knee pads that kept slipping down, which is why I only used the knee pads once. It, you can guess the state of my knees after that. And after crawling up it with nothing but beach towels and the like. And one time I used my walker, which was that was probably the fastest time I did that. Although I never really kept track of how much time it took. I just wanted to climb up that hill and challenge myself. Hence the term challenge day. And yeah, camp was always fun, and losing that friend was not the best. Well, actually, it was one of the worst things. But to say what I said to my aide, my teacher, and the teacher's aide, only two of those I apologize for, because one of them was not the nicest, as I said, like 5 or 10 minutes ago. And it was just, camp was always fun even after that. But there were other campers that weren't exactly. Camp in '07 was not exactly fun for any of us. Granted, camp in '06 was probably the worst. I'm actually surprised they held camp back in '06 given what happened. And that was just wild. And I remember we'd get letters from our parents and stuff and our family. And I remember one letter I got was my family had gone on vacation while I was at camp. They went to Niagara Falls. And that was the summer that Michael Jackson had, well, you know. And I got that letter, and I'm a huge MJ fan. I absolutely love his music. Still love his music. His music's amazing. And when I read that, I felt like, well, I didn't feel the exact dread that I felt back in November of '06, but it was like, what the crap? And I thought that for a while. And I remember that that the postcard actually had my dog's paw print on it, which was really cool. And yeah, it's just weird that a video idea popped into my head and it turned into a multi-video that that is just funny that most of my videos turn into multi-purpose videos when I'm just sitting here talking. it's just wild to think that my YouTube career has gone from something that I started when on my 16th birthday to avoid a living nightmare to something that I am really, really, really proud of now. Not that I wasn't proud of my first channel, but like I said just a few seconds ago, well, way to escape reality. I didn't even put any effort into my videos at the time. I just needed them for a little reprieve from reality, which all my videos are, well, all my early YouTube videos were escapes from reality. I, like I said, if you add up all 6 channels, well, my 5 deleted channels and my current channel that I've had for the last, I think, 12 years now, maybe going on 13, or actually, wait, November, it was either November or December when I started my channel, but I didn't post the first video until my 16th birthday. So that's when I actually started this channel, was on my 16th birthday, which was wild to think that I've been doing this for going on 18 years already, or rather, you get the point. And it's just been a really wild ride that I've enjoyed for the most part. Back in '06, I was just using it as a means to escape, but for the last 12 years, and so on and so forth, with the other phones that I didn't know that I thought my YouTube channel was attached to. I didn't realize it was attached to my Gmail account. So that's why I started so many other channels. When I realized that, I've just been using the same channel for the last 12 going on 13 years. And yeah, it's been a blast. Like I said, when I started this channel, I wanted to do a 200 subscriber custom play button drawing, and now I'm getting closer and closer to 300, which was my next goal. So I might actually have to do 2 different drawings of what I would customize my play button to be, which is a lot to think. And yeah, I'm your host, Isaac Brummett. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave a comment. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. I know I sure as hell will. Peace out, y'all.